Deep dives and blue skies. Welcome back to Talking Blue with Nick, the best Dodgers analytical podcast that you can find.
How are we doing, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Blue, the best Dodgers analytical podcast that you can find. I'm your host, Nick. I hope everybody's doing all right, maybe better than me. Dodgers just wrapped up their series with the Red Sox. They lose 2 out of 3. So this struggle of July, this cold July continues. So we're going to talk about it. Might be a pretty quick pod. There's not really much to talk about, honestly. Kind of a weird series, but I'll dig into all of that. So as always, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow my personal X at Talking Blue Nick. You can follow us at Talking Blue Pod on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, X, the whole deal. You guys know the deal. And as well on Reddit at competitive-week8715. So now that that's out of the way, we'll talk about the three games in this series. Injury report stuff. There are positives. Blake Trinan came off the IL on Sunday, which is today, July 27th. He didn't pitch in that game, but Blake Trinan is back. Blake Snell made his last rehab start on Saturday. He's going to come back and pitch, it looks like, next Friday, which will be against his former team, the Rays, in Tampa. So that's pretty much all I have. I didn't feel like looking up anything else, honestly. The Dodgers, it'll look like they'll go to a 6-man rotation, which should be Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, Clayton Kershaw, and then either Dustin May, Emmett Sheehan, whatever the case is. So we'll see Shohei, Glasnow, and Yamamoto pitch in the next series. So let's talk about the 3 games. First game, Friday, Emmett Sheehan versus Brian Bayo. We'll quickly just run through that game. This was the one game the Dodgers won. So Dodgers got on the board in the top of the second. Tommy Edman blooped in a single that brought Andy Pages in. Later on, bases loaded walk. Teoscar Hernandez would bring in another run, make it 2-0. Andy Pages would hit a sac fly right after that to make it 3-0 Dodgers. The Red Sox would respond in the bottom of the third. Jarren Duran brought in a RBI single, make it 3-1, and then Alex Bregman double makes it 3-2. So the Dodgers do have the lead. It would go from the third inning all the way to the 8th inning. Teoscar Hernandez would hit a 2-run homer to make it 5-2, and the Dodgers would win by a score of 5-2. So they win game 1 of this series. Like I said, final score 5-2. Ben Kasparias actually got the save in this game. So Emmett Sheehan goes 5, Anthony Bonda 1.2, Eduardo Henriquez goes 1/3 of an inning, Vesia for 1, and then, like I said, Kasparias for 1. He got the save. So Kasparias, Emmett Sheehan, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He was struggling early on with his command. The first inning, he threw a ton of pitches, but he did get through it. So tip your hat, Emmett Sheehan. He grinded through it, somewhat bounced back after he really struggled in his previous start. So he gets you through 5, and then after that, the bullpen did go scoreless. Anthony Bonda, like I said, Henriquez, Vesia, Kasparias all put up zeros. It was a perfectly played game, honestly. I mean, they could have put up some more runs. They went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Will Smith had 2 hits. Freddie Freeman had 2 hits. Teoscar had that home run. Pages had 2 hits. So the offense had 10 hits, 5 walks. Did strike out 10 times, but they did enough offensively. No errors in the game. Pretty clean game pitchingly. Perfect game, actually. I remember watching this game thinking this is what the Dodgers offense tends to look like. I think, like I said, it was in that third inning where they were bases loaded walk. They were making it really hard on Bayo, forcing him to throw strikes, putting the ball in play, some sac flies. Again, I'm not an old school person who's like hates home runs or anything like that, but at the end of the day, when you don't chase pitches out of the zone, putting the ball in play, cashing in with chances, runners in scoring position, you're going to win the games, and especially when you combine that with a multi-run homer like Teoscar, you're going to win 9 times out of 10. So, coming off the series win in Minnesota, Dodgers win this game, win in the first game of the series, so feeling pretty good, right? So, it would all change after that. Or I should say after the first inning of the second game. So, game 2, Garrett Crochet against Clayton Kershaw. One of the best lefties of all time against one of the best lefties currently in the game. I knew this was going to be a tough game for the Dodgers because Crochet is a very good pitcher. I actually tweeted out that the Dodgers were either going to put up 4+ runs off Crochet or strike out 13 times. I didn't think there was no in between. In the top of the first inning, Shohei Ohtani, of course, leads off the game with a home run to put the Dodgers up 1-0. Then a couple batters later, Teoscar Hernandez hits his second home run of the series. So the Dodgers go up 2-0. So that's a great sign. Teoscar Hernandez looks like he's heating up, hitting lefties like he tends to do. The Red Sox would respond in the second inning. A Jarren Duran triple would immediately tie the game up. Abraham Toro hit a sac fly to give the Red Sox the lead. Later on in the fifth, a Roman Anthony double makes it 4-2 Red Sox. And that score would hold. Later on, Dodgers would get some base runners in the ninth. Chapman in for the save. Mookie Betts would pinch hit. He strikes out looking, takes a heater right down the middle. Dodgers lose. So, again, not great with runners in scoring position. They had 9 hits in the game, as well as 3 walks. Again, struck out way too much. This game, unfortunately, I didn't see live. I actually was out, so I didn't really watch most of this game. I saw the Dodgers went up 2-0 with the 2 homers. Immediately you're thinking, hey, facing Crochet, you get 2 runs in the first, 1 Friday night, looking like a series win. Kershaw got hit around a little bit after getting an early lead. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Henriquez goes 1/3 of an inning once again, and then Alexis Diaz 1 inning, Will Klein 1 inning, Kirby Yates 1 inning. But again, once the Red Sox battled back and took the lead, Dodgers weren't able to cash in with any runners in scoring position. The offense was definitely much more quiet in this game. Hae-Sung Kim, credit to him, he did get 2 hits off of Crochet. He's been struggling lately, and he's dealing with a sore shoulder. But Shohei, Will, Teoscar, Freddie, Andy, Tommy, Miguel Rojas all had 1 hit. So everyone in the lineup had a hit except for Estuary Ruiz, and then obviously Mookie pinch hit. So 9 hits in the game. After those 2 home runs, kind of went quiet, couldn't cash in. So, the Red Sox came back. Again, I didn't see the whole game, but I did go through the highlights and stuff. So, not too miserable of a game, if that makes sense. The Dodgers have been struggling, looking for series wins and stuff like that, positives, and then eventually looking to turn that into a hot streak. So, you're thinking, all right, Dodgers lose. It was going to be tough to beat Crochet anyways. He had 10 strikeouts in the game. Come back and win Sunday, right? Get out of there with a series win. Go into next week. Go into Cincinnati. Going to get more healthy eventually. So Sunday afternoon, the game was delayed. But it's Dustin May versus Walker Buehler, old friend. 2 guys that will probably be former Dodgers soon. Sorry, Dustin May. The Red Sox got on the board first. In the bottom of the first, Trevor Story hit a sac fly to put the Red Sox up. Dodgers would battle back, though. Another bases-loaded walk in the series. This time it's Freddie Freeman to tie up the game. Later on in the fourth, Michael Conforto, after dropping a fly ball in left field, hits a bomb to dead center, the deepest part of Fenway Park. Both him and Teoscar's home runs were hit in this area. It's like that weird triangle in Fenway. Fenway's like probably the weirdest stadium in terms of outfield ground to cover and the dimensions and stuff. So the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. Later in that inning, a 2-out hit from Mookie makes it 3-1. So the Dodgers go up 3-1. But right away, Dustin May would give it up in the fifth. Roman Anthony hits a triple off the monster, makes it a 3-2 game. And then right away, Alex Bregman hits a 2-run homer off Dustin May over the monster, puts the Red Sox up 4-3. And the score would hold. The Dodgers would lose by a score of 4-3. They could not rally, left a ton of base runners on. I actually believe after the fifth inning where they gave up the lead, the Dodgers had runners on in every inning after that, but couldn't bring a runner in to at least tie the game up. So Dustin May goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts, Jack Dreyer for 1, and then Wrobleski for 2. Walker Buehler in this game, Dodgers were able to get to him. He goes 4 2/3, gives up 3 earned runs, did have 5 walks. The Dodgers didn't hit with runners in scoring position. Now, we know that even though the Dodgers have one of the best offenses in baseball, it's not crazy for them to go cold, as for any lineup in baseball. But we've seen that with the Dodgers, especially in this 3-week ice cold July that they've been on. But what they haven't struggled with for the most part is runners in scoring position. It was a couple months ago where they struggled mightily with that, and they have throughout this. But mostly it's been just kind of cold offense altogether, and then bad bullpen, bad pitching. In this series, they get good enough starting pitching. It wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but good enough. And the best part was that the bullpen was scoreless in every game. Bullpen didn't blow it. Now again, there were innings where the bullpen was pitching that they were losing, but regardless, the bullpen, which hasn't been good this year, and hopefully the Dodgers rectify that at the deadline, the bullpen showed up. And part of the offense showed up because, like I said, in Game 1, the Dodgers had 10 hits. In Game 2, they had 9 hits. And in Game 3 on Sunday, they had 7 hits. So, like I said, what's kind of weird is that the offense didn't entirely not show up. They scored 5 runs in the first game, 2 in the second game, and then only 3 today. So I'm not trying to give them an excuse. It's just a little bit of a weird series that they just, like I said, they played really well in the first game. Again, it wasn't a offensive clinic, but they had a few good innings where they laid off pitches, made it tough on the starting pitcher, walks, sac flies, runners in scoring position, stuff like that. And I think I tweeted out that looked like a Dodger inning. Like when the Dodgers are at their best offensively, they make it tough on the opposing pitcher. A lot of deep counts, foul balls, not chasing, walks, stuff like that, and then it ultimately lead to a big inning. And in that game that they won, it wasn't that they necessarily had a big inning, but they made it tough on Bayo, made him throw a lot of pitches. And then again, you win that game, and then you go into Game 2, 2 homers in the first, you're looking great. And then just for whatever reason after that, ice cold, Dodgers were able to put up some runs in Game 3, and then it's just when it counted, they went ice cold. The Red Sox, again, like what I said, what I mean is by another example of why it was a weird series, the Red Sox just did just enough to win the 2 games. They battled back both times, put up just enough runs. I know that kind of makes no sense. Like, obviously, you score more than the other team, you win. But they fell back behind the Dodgers, battled back, took the lead, and then from there, just did enough to hold the Dodgers to win by 1 run and by 2 runs in the game on Saturday. So I feel like I could spin this in a couple different ways. The Dodgers have been the best team with runners in scoring position all year. And if that just shows up, if 30% of that shows up in this series, they probably get out of Boston winning 2 out of 3, and you're feeling good going into Cincinnati. Instead, it doesn't show up. Now you're going in Cincinnati losing a series to, the Red Sox, who are a decent team, but, nothing scary by any means. That's it. Not much else to talk about. They just didn't do enough in the end. That's what I said. It makes it kind of weird. That's why I think I could spin it. They could go into Cincinnati, play fairly similar, just have a couple more at-bats with the runners in scoring position go their way, and they could come out of there with a series win, feeling better. So at the end of the day, this is the worst month of the season for the Dodgers. It will be the worst month. When we look back at the season, we will look back at July was the depressing month. I'm pretty much at the point now where I'm just waiting for August. I'm just like, get July out of here. Give me August 1st. Turn the page. The Dodgers organization as a whole have an opportunity to really turn the page on this series. Now, it's all mental, of course. You just got to go out there and play better. But You got this last series in Cincinnati, which will be the last series of the month. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The trade deadline will be Thursday, the last day to make trades. Dodgers will be off that day. Then they will go to Tampa to play the Rays on Friday, which will be August 1st. So, it'll be a new month. You will have Blake Snell on the mound, making his return. Hopefully the Dodgers will have some reinforcements. Now, depending on when those trades and if they get done happen, if they happen right on Thursday, maybe those guys can't join the team by Friday, but you have until Thursday. So, got to get through these last 3 games. Just get a series win in Cincinnati. You got Yamamoto, you got Glasnow, who have been pitching well, and you got Shohei hopefully going 4 innings. Hitter's ballpark, so I could spin that multiple ways. Hopefully guys can get hot, but that can be scary for the bullpen. So go to Cincinnati, win the series, make some trades. All right? I didn't talk about it. There was reports that the Dodgers have been interested in Brendan Donovan. He is a second baseman. For those who are not aware, mostly second baseman technically is a utility, can play left field and third base and stuff like that for the Cardinals. Left-handed hitter, made the All-Star team this year. Has an OPS in the high 700s with a batting average in the high, hitting around 290 and stuff. So good on-base guy, good bat-to-ball guy who actually has some pop. It's kind of funny. I made my trade deadline video, what should the Dodgers do? Didn't really have any infielders on my bats. In the last couple of weeks, a lot of things have kind of unfolded. Hae-Sung Kim has been really good for the Dodgers this year, and I continue to think he's going to be a good player for them. But in the month of July, recently, he struggled mightily, swinging and missing a ton. I think he has a 40% K rate in the month, and he's a little banged up. So it would make sense. I had the Lars Nootbaar, Ryan Helsley pipe dream trade. If you could pull that trade off, replacing Nootbaar with Brendan Donovan, you could slide him into second base, and then if Max Muncy comes back, he'll be playing third. You could have Tommy Edman in center. Pages play. I'd play him in right, but maybe the Dodgers play him in left. I would be pretty hyped about that trade. So we'll see. Hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, it's breaking down a trade. I'll see if I have time to preview the Red series. I apologize as of late. I know the preview series have kind of been, there haven't been many of them because of the trade deadline stuff. A lot going on. Some of my schedule, I have a lot of physical therapy right now for my ankle, as you guys remember. So it's a little bit harder for me to do the preview series right now. But we're going to get there. I'm going to try to make one, but no promises. Hopefully the next time I talk to you, we'll be talking about a trade. So there's been a few trades that have gone on. Kind of like I predicted, a couple trades will happen, and then some quietness. I think things will probably pick up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I still remain confident the Dodgers are going to make some pretty solid moves. I think Ryan Helsley makes the most sense for them. A lot of people seem to be in agreement. I see a ton of that on Twitter, and they have been linked to him. So a Ryan Helsley, Brendan Donovan trade I'd be pretty hyped about that. And then if you were able to do that and then maybe pull off another trade for another, minor reliever or a pretty solid reliever, that'd be a pretty great deadline. So Andrew Friedman, it's time to lock in. The team needs a little bit of a spark. Like I said, they have a good opportunity. You could make a pretty significant trade, take the series in Cincinnati, and then we got Blake Snell taking the mound Friday, August 1st. Get ready for a hot, hot August. I see it. I can foresee it. All right? So, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for listening. As always, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media at Talking Blue Pod. You can follow myself at Talking Blue Nick, as well as our Reddit at competitive-week8715. Like I said, hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, it'll be breaking down a trade. So, we will see you guys at the conclusion of the Reds-Dodgers series or a trade. We'll see when I see you guys next. But have a good day, everybody.